All right, 888-727-BECK is our phone number. With us are Bill and Danielle Ford of Storm Warriors. Really cool organization. And, you know, we see a lot of the kind of crazy footage, as Jeffy brings up. His favorite movie of all time is Twister, or at least one of them.
Favorite documentary, you mean?
Documentary.
Thank you.
We always got to call it the documentary, Twister. But we see a lot of that kind of crazy footage, certainly now with YouTube and all this other stuff, where these tornadoes are coming down on these communities, and you know, you see the terrible destruction afterwards. You know, there's a lot of people now that chase these storms. To me, this sounds like an incredibly terrible idea, but you guys are kind of involved in that.
We are, you know, and we don't want to touch them. We're not out there to get that close, even though sometimes we're that close. Our objective is really there for the people. So we're not there for the video, we're not there for the pictures, we're there for the people. What that really means is that if we can help communities by warning them first, giving them advance notice of the storms, what the storm's doing, where it's going, and get that information out to the media, National Weather Service, and so on, we can save a lot of lives. And then the second part of our mission really is to help assist in the event that there is a disaster. Our team is trained. We carry a lot of equipment to deploy and to help people in their greatest time of need. When those storms come through and families are devastated, they need help. Many of them need it immediately. And so we're there. So we want to be there when that happens. And the third part of our mission really is to help these families be completely restored.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times, Danielle, you see the footage of these crazy storms and all these terrible things that happen, and then kind of everyone just tunes it out. They move on to the next news story, the next thing that's going on. You guys really are focusing on coming in even afterwards and help rebuild and helping these people get through these terrible moments.
Well, once the storm hits, their storm is just beginning. And so we stop. We don't track the storm any farther when we see that people need help. That's when we do the assist and the restore, because we want to help those families not get back to where they were before the storm, but to get back to an even better place. And our message of hope can help them get there.
So have you guys ever been... Have you ever been caught in like the immediate vicinity of the tornado?
Yeah, so every storm has its own personality.
But we've never tied ourselves to a pipe in the barn.
Really?
To protect ourselves. Sorry, it just doesn't happen that way.
Have you ever seen a cow twirling around the funnel cloud? Have you ever seen that?
Have not seen that.
No?
There's been a tank battery or two we've seen fly up in the
Perhaps that's why they weren't in the documentary.
That's exactly right.
And what's the strongest that you've encountered personally?
Well, the biggest storm, probably the most dangerous storm that we've been in, was the El Reno, Oklahoma tornado.
which was the biggest storm there's ever been.
Yeah, biggest tornado ever
recorded. So that was an F5?
2.6 miles wide. It was an EF5 at one point. But had many satellite tornadoes that spun off of that, which actually killed 3 storm chasers that day. We were actually a mile to the north where these guys got killed. The storm grew so big, so rapidly, so fast, it was really hard to get out of its way.
2.6 miles.
That's amazing.
Is insane. Because, you know, one of the it's such a unique phenomenon, the tornado, in that you see the footage afterwards where one side of the street is completely wiped out and the people across the street seem to have no damage at all to their homes. I mean, it's got to be an interesting example of communities coming together, because I mean, there are people in the community that don't have to do anything to their house, and they can come and actually help. I mean, it is a kind of in a terrible way, a good way to show kind of how communities can come together.
Yeah, we believe that the best responder, the first responder, needs to be the community, because they're already there. So we want to help train up communities, and then in that part where the disaster happens, community comes together. It's an amazing event to be a part of that, to watch communities. For example, up in Emory, Texas, the Canton tornadoes that went through, we were up in Emory, Texas, helping these families through the process of restoration. The whole community came together. It was an amazing event. We did a celebration of the community. And this is what happens with a storm. A storm comes, people's lives are changed, people come together. It's an amazing outpouring of the heart in these communities. And that's the part that we love the most, is bringing the communities together.
That's great. So where do we see some of your cool footage? Do we get to see some of this, or what?
Well, you can go to our Facebook page, stormwarriors.tv, and there's a lot of little bits and pieces there, or our website, stormwarriors.tv. We have some sizzle videos on there. And you can also watch us when we are actually tracking a storm. We do live streaming, and so you can see where we're going and what we're showing some of the local news media that is really happening on the ground. And of course, the inside commentary can even be a little entertaining when we get a little too close to a storm. We look at the anemometer and it says 126-mile-an-hour crosswind when we're going 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So who's the
It's
one that
scary.
who's the one that's going to get to you in the most danger? Who's the guilty party?
He's the driver, so he ultimately
Yeah, it's his
holds our
fault.
lives in his hands. But our daughter is the navigator, so he depends on her to know which way the storm's coming in and which way we need to be going in order to stay on the right side of the storm. Because our job is to be at the right place at the wrong time, and Corey's job, our daughter, is to get us there and get us there safely.
Well, we all consider ourselves indoorsy, so we will not be doing that with you, but we're glad somebody is. Storm Warriors is the organization. Go to their Facebook page, check it out. If they can get involved, is that a good place to go to help out? And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Storm Warriors on Facebook.
StormWarriors.tv.
On TV.
Very
Okay.
cool. Check it out.
All right.
Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. All right, back with more in just a second.